Hi, friends, and welcome back to Talks with Tina, where we are trying to pursue our most true and authentic self. Y'all like that? I just made it up. And again, I was everywhere trying to figure out, what could be the topic this week? What's the message? And that just did not work for me. And I think what I'm still soul searching and what I'm still trying to accomplish is what makes me me. What are my roots? Like, what makes me whole? What is that wholeness that I'm searching for? What did I lose? What did I gain? What's my purpose? And with that, it still comes to getting to the bottom of my relationship. So back to this relationship business. I think my relationships are a direct reflection of just how I go about life. Like, I give my very best as much as I can. And sometimes it's taken for granted, but it makes you feel like crap. Like, it really, sometimes it drains me. Like, I sit there and then I have to vent it out. And then you think, why not just leave that friendship, or why not leave that relationship? But again, it's uncovering the root of your issues and why you feel like you need that relationship, right? So, with that, I feel like a common reoccurring thing that we're still trying to find the roots of it, is that I feel like I have to prove myself to people, be the best that I can be, so you understand that you will never find another me or have another me. But why is that? Why give your all to everybody, when they don't even appreciate it? And that's something, it drains me sometimes. And I think about it, my feelings get hurt. I've been the best that I can be. Sometimes we are accountable here. We all have our faults. I'm not the most perfect person. I'm not perfect by any means. But I think for the most part, I treat people the way I want to be treated. And oftentimes, it's never given back in that same generosity. People bounce up out of my life like I did something to them. Y'all know what? I made 5 videos after the one that I did, and I had my own revelation. So let's get into it. Do you ever feel like you overstay your season? And I think that's where the root of that problem is I try to overstay my season in people's lives. I am that nosy neighbor. It was you okay? You good? But the whole time, you just girl, get out my window, or stop knocking at my door. I don't want to see you. And it might not be like that, but let's think about it, okay? So, for instance, I've had so many friendships where I felt like I have been so good to them. We are supportive. I support them in every aspect. And then out of the blue, it's the end. And for me, that hurts. That hurts to the core, because, again, that's my own problem. I try to keep proving myself to people and prove that, girl. So I just had my own little reflection on a couple of my friendships. And I just thought about this mosquitoes. So mosquitoes, they are so annoying. And so ugh. But we only expect to see mosquitoes in 1 or 2 seasons. Then they disappear. But if a mosquito was to be here in the winter, you would be so bothered by it, wouldn't you? Why are you still here? Why am I still getting bitten up in the winter or in the spring or whatever the season they come in or not supposed to be in? And that's kind of how I can think about my friendships, or some of the relationships I've had. I'm only supposed to be there for a short amount of time, or they're only supposed to be here for a short amount of time. And sometimes we just overstay our season. And how can that become a direct reflection in your life? Y'all help me clarify this, okay? Because I'm having a hard time wrapping it into one. Because I'm into this. So I think of it like this. When we overstay our season, we start welcoming things that were never intended to be there in the first place. So if mosquitoes were to be in the winter, imagine what other kind of problems we're going to have along with what already is expected to be in our season. You got uninvited guests. Come on. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Uninvited guests. And I know for me, when somebody overstays their season, I'm just done for. But I cannot seem to let it go, right? Like, I'd be like, oh, they get on my nerves, but why can't I be the one to be like, you have overstayed your season. It's time for you to bounce. Or why can't I bounce? I think I need some engagement in this, because it seems like I need to get to the root of this myself. So we are diving deep into something. I'm sorry for those who watch my Snapchat or is just going to have to let that 24 hours roll, but you're missing something here, because I am uncovering something about myself. And hopefully you can uncover it too. But again, why can't you be that person to either remove that person out of your season, or you leave? Like, if, say for instance, you're overstaying your season, because we take accountability here, and sometimes we overstay our season too. And I think I have a problem overstaying my season in people's life. Like, I know I can kind of sense when my purpose is done in somebody's life, but it has to be on my terms and not their terms. And that's where my issue is that I cannot have things done on somebody else's terms. So, to kind of full circle this with my Ray J challenge that I've been doing with my different locations, let's kind of full circle it. Why do we overstay our season? Or do we allow other people to overstay their season? Because some people can really move on, like, accept that some people aren't meant to be in their life. And then some people, we really hold on to those relationships and like what it is that person brings to us. Do you think you're holding on to that person because they possess something you lack in yourself? Or are you afraid of what might come after that? Let's talk about it.